Thanks so much, Aditi. You know, this week Mike McCarthy was saying there's research that shows that once a team gets to 4 division wins, it's likelier to win the division.
Before we get to the content, guys, I just want to let you guys know that we're giving away a PlayStation 5 to one member of Mike Mafia that's subscribed and turn on my notifications. Whether you're an old subscriber or new, you can enter for a chance to win a PlayStation 5 so long as you're subscribed and part of my Noti gang. Finally, we're almost sold out of day one Mike Mafia merch to celebrate us hitting 100,000 subscribers on mikerophone.org. I wanted to thank you guys to the ones that went out and purchased a piece of merch. This was my first ever merch drop, and if I ever see someone wearing this, I'll know that they've been a day one supporter of the channel from the very beginning. So from the bottom of my heart, I wanted to thank you. We should have it up for about a day or two before all orders are in, and we are sold out for good. Oh, we're also going to be live streaming on Twitch tonight. We're going to be playing some Among Us with subscribers and followers, so make sure to follow us on twitch.tv/FlightMike. Now that we got all that out of the way, break! Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Guys, we could all discuss at length and at nauseum the dumpster fire that has been the Dallas Cowboys organization this year. This all started a week ago with Jane Slater, a very reputable source in the NFL, by the way, coming out and saying that instead of painting you a picture with stats on the state of this team, what I'm hearing from the locker room now, yes, they are 2-4, now 2-5. Yes, there are a lot of injuries, but the buy-in or lack thereof is the concerning part, that this early in, you were seeing it just by looking at the tape. You had Cowboys players coming out and saying that the current coaching staff have no ability to game plan at all and are not good at their jobs at all whatsoever. And then what's even more upsetting is it seems like there's a little bit of a game of cat and mouse between Mike McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys, because Mike McCarthy's response to everything was the fact that the locker room needs to handle these situations like men. No, seriously, this is his direct quote. I've always stated this to every team that I've coached. I think it's important to handle things as men. If you do have something to say publicly that is of most importance, I think it's important to say it to the individual, particularly in a group dynamic setting, especially in the game of football, especially for the Dallas Cowboys. That's all part of the development of our program, of the system we're installing here. Well, things are getting a little bit worse, as this past weekend, the Dallas Cowboys went up against the Washington football team, a team that is supposed to be contending for Trevor Lawrence in the NFL draft. And unfortunately, we had another horrible moment where Andy Dalton was diagnosed with a concussion after being tackled with a helmet-to-helmet hit by John Bostic. And Mike McCarthy's response to that was, we speak all the time about playing for another and protecting one another. And it was not the response that you would expect. And Ezekiel Elliott came out and said that it was fair for the Dallas Cowboys to face criticism for their lack of response. But things aren't really getting better in Dallas at all. And you could put the blame finger at Mike McCarthy because the offense hasn't been particularly good, but they were kind of good when they had Dak Prescott in, although questionable because he was throwing it damn near 40 to 50 times a game. But the big problem for the Cowboys has been the defense. And on paper, the defense looked really good, in my opinion. You had Leighton Vander Esch, you had Jaylon Smith that they recently paid a big contract to, and of course, they had a defensive line filled with current studs and past generation studs like Aldon Smith, Everson Griffen, Dontari Poe, DeMarcus Lawrence, and the newly returning Randy Gregory. Well, unfortunately, the Dallas Cowboys are making a move that makes it seem like they're punting on their season once and for all. And there's two sides that you could look at this. It could be seen as either punting on the NFL season or the fact that, hey, the Cowboys may have something up their sleeve. In addition to this trade that's official, I do have a pretty big trade rumor that I want to give you guys. So to start with the trade rumor, people in the building for Dallas have been alarmed at how often Jaylon Smith is at the heart of big plays made against the Dallas defense, and this is according to Albert Breer. Breer says it wouldn't shock him if Dallas moves on from Jaylon Smith this offseason. Now, People understand that the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones have a huge crush on Jaylon Smith because of his incredible road from recovery. And I don't really know the validity of this because I wasn't really studying Jaylon Smith very much, so I'm going to have to look more into it, but that's the rumor at hand. I wouldn't be surprised that the Cowboys went ahead and moved on from Jaylon Smith, mainly because they are so strapped for cap space and they may have to throw Dak Prescott a pretty big bag this offseason. But in addition to this, we have some official news coming from Ian Rappaport, and it's the fact that the Dallas Cowboys have officially made a trade. They're trading their defensive end that they signed literally 2 months ago. Former Minnesota Vikings defensive end Everson Griffen is being traded to the Detroit Lions in exchange for draft pick compensation. Sources say Detroit, winners of 2 in a row, added a big-time veteran pass rusher. So nice. Everson Griffen's going to go to Detroit. He's going to be on the same defensive line as Trey Flowers. For those of you guys wondering what the draft pick compensation is, it's going to be a 6th-round pick for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, at first glance, I was thinking, damn, the Cowboys are officially giving up on this season. And then I thought there's a reason that they're doing this. It's probably because they want to save the $6 million of cap space from signing Everson Griffen, while also giving their former 2nd-round pick from, what was it, 2014 or 2015 at this point, Randy Gregory, an opportunity to shine on the defensive line. Because to keep Randy Gregory would save the Dallas Cowboys a tremendous amount of money. He's significantly younger, and there's way more upside for Randy Gregory to blossom into a star than there is for Everson Griffen. Randy Gregory is younger. Randy Gregory may feel indebted to the Cowboys for taking a chance on him for having off-the-field issues. So in that sense, I think that's the reason why the Cowboys traded Everson Griffen. Because I don't think the Cowboys are going to be punting on a season so soon, even though it's been a horrific first 7 games, mainly because there's still a chance that they could win the division and make it to the playoffs. And whenever there's a chance to win the division and make it to the playoffs, you're never going to punt on the season. I think the notion of that is absolutely ridiculous, even though they don't seem prepared to take on any team whatsoever from any of the competing divisions. I've actually never seen the NFC East be this horrible in like 20 years of being a fan of the NFL. Now, we're about a week away from the trade deadline, and I don't think the Cowboys are done selling. If you see them sell on players like Michael Gallup and players like Jaylon Smith, then it might imply that they're giving up on the season, and the Cowboys might be headed towards a full-scale rebuild, which I don't know if necessarily they need to rebuild at this point. I don't think they need to blow everything up. I think they have some good pieces in place, and they do just need to do a little bit of retooling, but it appears as though the Cowboys are huge sellers at the deadline. And let me know in the comment section down below, are the Cowboys giving up on the season, or do you think this is just to give Randy Gregory a chance to compete? Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.